Hey, it's Samuel here, and today I'm going to go over a case study of Flareaudio.com. And this is a case study that is a little bit older already, but it's a really good one in terms of showing the process and showing how we did it for this client. Now, this was done in cooperation with another agency, and they had us implement the conversion optimization side of this. So let's get into it. And here, feel free to pause it to watch the slides if I'm moving too fast, and likely I am. So first of all, I want to go around a little bit of the background. So here, they did launch in July 2016, and their first 8 months, they hit $5 million in online sales. So that's pretty much a top 25 Shopify store at the time. And they had that initial funding going, but it doesn't mean much if you don't use it well. Like many companies have money, many companies have investors. How many have that strategy behind it to make it really work well? So their product is titanium micro earplugs that isolate you from noise. Basically, it's an earplug. Let's be honest, it's an earplug. So it's a product that is differentiated with the material. It's still functioning just like an earplug. Now, there's a lot of elements that go into optimization, so that's why making case studies particularly is a little bit difficult. But here, these are the basics. I'd say you often don't need to be that clever or remarkable because the level of competition can be low as well. You need to take care of the basics and do those really well. So here, I think we did copywriting extremely well on this project. We took a look at Google Analytics and fixed some big leaks. And then we found improvements on all these other areas as well. Now here we are identifying the problems mainly, and the other agency is fixing them. We are the consultants on this project, right? Now, the product itself, I'm always saying the product doesn't matter because everybody can come and copy that same product. And you also have very similar products already on the market, no matter what your product is. But it's important to find some kind of differentiation between your product and the competition. So here it is the material. This is metal. And earplugs, that's a pretty unique thing. So that's something cool that you can show your friends, or it's a novelty item, basically, making earplugs cool. It is pricey compared to the other products. So it's not like this product is so superior that it succeeded because of that. There were other elements in place and responsible for that. Because of this, let's talk first about the positioning. And this ties in with the offer. So like I said, having great product is not enough. It is the offer and the positioning that really makes it work. So here, beyond the product, we offer the 30-day money-back guarantee. Started testing that, and product warranty. That's an easy offer because it's unlikely to break. And then try to get more people buy again with 10% off for next purchase. Most stores have this backward where they are offering 10% for the first purchase, but that can be a bit turn off into the people coming back. And that's really what you want. You want high customer lifetime value. And then also free courier shippings. Now, here's some of the visuals. Now, the message is that it is not just another earplug. So here the branding comes into play, trying to make it cool and making it more of a community thing. So that's very important to understand how we have seek to purposefully differentiate this product from the competition. And now all the images and video need to support the story of this flow, or the flow of the story, and needs to be good that way. We want to have that must-have effect. That is very important, because people, if they don't feel that must-have effect, they can always go and leave. And it's not like you are there going to be on the rock concert and be able to instantly order it and get it. So you need to actually have it beforehand. And that is very important for those conversions. Okay, this is going to be a very small slide for you. Now, this is more to illustrate the typical things that we might be finding from Google Analytics. So we see that there's really high bounce rates on some browsers, which is pretty unique. Basically, that's like 50% more bouncing in Chrome compared to Android WebView. And we find that mobile browsers obviously tend to bounce often and bounce fast because of the load times. So here's the first big finding. You're having 147,000 visits in a month, but only getting 7 transactions. Terrible conversion rate, 0.00 or 0.01 on these devices. First finding, we're not going to list them here, but the technical analysis found some bugs there, and we're able to bring those browsers into the same level as the others. So it wasn't the browsers itself, it was about the problems with those browsers. Now, conversion per device is another category, and it's tied to the previous one. So where do we find that are the problem points beyond browsers? What are the devices? And here, very similar thing, 5,000 visits or more, and nobody bought from these devices. Investigatable issues, for sure. And here, it's likely that your store is smaller. You don't have 1.7 million visitors per month. However, you could think of it like on a longer time period. If you're planning to invest in advertising, if you are planning to make your store as good as it can be, and you're ambitious in that way, then you should have a 24, 36, 48 month window to think through this and like what is the revenue impact if these Samsung devices are converting this terribly. It's basically throwing money down the drain. Another segment here is the conversions per countries. Some countries were clearly underperforming. And this is the data here. We can see this, but then this tells us only what is happening. It doesn't tell us why. So the why is the part that we start researching and looking into. Here a big thing was shipping. And this client is big enough to have that geo identifying element on their page and showing customized messages to different countries. So if they get 110,000 sessions from India, makes sense to take that into account and try to tackle this bounce rate or conversion rate to make it better. Because high bounce rates, low conversion rates for countries that don't think that they're able to buy. Then let's move on. So that was Google Analytics. That's a very good page from page and general finding platform, but we also do heat map analysis. So here we can see how people are behaving on key pages. And for this particular case, we found out that there was a lot of movement from the cart to unnecessary elements like FAQ page. And we also had text like free shipping worldwide for all orders. So we changed that to you qualify for free shipping if they were on top of that threshold, and immediately found a 4% increase. And yeah, seems like the sizes are very important. So people weren't really understanding when should I buy the full version and when should I buy the mini version, what's the difference. So, and this is very common. You as a merchant know your products way better than the customers, and the customers might shop a little bit differently. They're looking for what's the right product from me, not necessarily I want to browse products. So something we tackled on the product page as well. Here on the cart for mobile, we notice that there's a lot of taps back to the cart. So you're already on the cart, but you're trying to go to the cart. And we hypothesized here that because the carts are guided directly, when you click add to cart, you might try to close it. But their average quantity was so low, and there weren't really any other products on the store, that it made sense to do this. So it's situational. And that's why there is no one right theme that is optimized for every single product. It depends on the context oftentimes. And that's also why in Amazon you wouldn't do it like this, because you have so many other products that people might be also looking to shop around on, and said annoying to go back and forth with the cart and always press that back button. All right, I touched on this earlier, so this is important. This is the copywriting, the positioning of that product. So here we're looking for two things: differentiation and emotions. So we want to emote, and relating helps there. Then we're looking to differentiate, and these go together because you're emoting and relating at the same time, and then you can amplify their problems. So problem acquisition solution, pretty much copywriting 101, but can be quite difficult to implement. So here we are taking care of those and also providing logical reasons of why metal is the best material for earplugs. So you need to convince them logically and emotionally as well. Then other things are just listing the benefits in their favor, of course, and having all of that in place. Now let's go to usability part. Also very important, but this is not the only usability and zero. It's not the same thing. So we can make usability better without improving conversions, and we can improve conversions by actually hurting usability. So it's not necessarily aligned, but oftentimes it is. So here we're making things simpler, because human nature is to make things a little bit more complicated oftentimes, because you want to be fancy and adding a lot of elements. None of that, well, many of those are not necessarily important. So clickable contact numbers, visual CTAs, high contrast, call to actions, these kind of things, and also having the consistency there so that people feel like they're in the same experience. All right, loading times. So similar to the previous analysis, if your front page takes twice as long to load and it's a typical landing page, then you have a big problem. And this is something we tackled just 9 to 10 seconds, 9 to 12 seconds, even back in 2018, it's just too long. So we prioritize that. Now the results and evolution. So this is where we're getting back to the results that we referred to earlier. But the initial success here on the brand, because we're looking for implication on this. Like it's not just make more money right now. This grew up to be a brand focusing on audio products. So if they started with earplugs, but now they're successful with headphones. And that's pretty cool. Like you started with something simple. Now you expanded your business to different product lines. So they have earphones, like all this merchants stuff, etc. And this is probably going to be a bit different now than it was back in the day, because yeah, it's an evolving thing. but 200,000 products in 2016 alone, and that's with 2 million crowdfunding. From 6 to 27 employees in 5 years. And also, this is a business that doesn't require that much employees, so it's a really nice growth. I believe here calculated that the store optimization efforts, when we calculated those revenue impact on the optimizations, was 18%, which might not sound like a lot to you, but it always depends on the scale. On smaller stores that are not so optimized, it's easier to make big gains. Here, 18% gain meant £1,080,000 with their revenue of £6 million in 2017. Now in 2018, that was likely higher. In 2019, even higher than that. So you carry that optimized site going forward and those learnings as well. And once it's done well, it will keep you making you money. It's not necessarily going to be as effective in 5 years, but you have done a good job once and you're going to reap the benefits for it a longer time. It's not like in advertising where you have these fixed costs or variable costs all the time, and the more you put into it, the more you pay. So that's what I like about conversion optimization. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. You can reach me here, and hopefully you enjoyed it.